Picture a Saturday cloaked in grey, the kind where rain falls without reason, tapping on the world like restless fingers. Imagine a narrow street, cobblestones slick and shining under the dull glow of old street lamps, their light fractured in puddles. The air smells of wet earth and something older, a whisper of decay that clings to the edges. Clara moves through this scene, her dark grey coat heavy with dampness, the hood pulled low as rain beads on her brow. She's 34, a woman of sharp, edges softened by routine, a financial broker with a life boxed into neat schedules. But there's a flicker in her, a quiet hunger she doesn't name, and it pulls her to a stop outside a crooked storefront. No name on the sign, just faded letters spelling out things that once belonged to someone. The wood is peeling, the window clouded with dust, and through the glass, shadows shift as if something inside waits. You're in Tales of the Watcher, where fates are glimpsed, not told, and every step you take is seen by eyes you'll never meet. The air hums with secrets, daring you to listen. Stick around, subscribe for the journey, and in today's story, the bell jangles as she pushes the door, an abrupt, brittle sound swallowed by the stillness within. Step into this place, a labyrinth of forgotten things. Shelves groan under the weight of stopped clocks, their hands frozen at odd hours. Cracked mirror catches a sliver of her reflection, warped and fleeting. A porcelain doll with one eye stares blankly from a corner. A single chandelier dangles above, its bulbs flickering like they're unsure of their purpose, casting trembling shadows across walls of worn wood. Dust hangs in the air, glowing faintly in the weak light, and the smell of mildew mixes with the musk of old leather. Clara drifts through this maze, her boots scuffing the creaking floor until her eyes land on it. A small painting, oil on canvas, no bigger than a book. A woman gazes out from the frame, her skin pale as moonlight, her dark eyes so sharp they seem to pierce the air. The frame is chipped, the paint dulled by time, but that gaze, it holds you. She's not alone. From the shadows steps the shopkeeper, a hunched figure with a face carved by years, his hands trembling as they clutch a rag grey with dust. "That one speaks to those who listen," he rasps, his voice like dry leaves scraping stone. Clara laughs, a quick nervous sound that dies in her throat. She digs into her pocket, hands him 50 reais, and the painting is hers. It feels heavier than it should as she tucks it under her arm, the shopkeeper's words lingering like a riddle she doesn't want to solve. She steps back into the rain, the door creaking shut behind her, the bell's echo fading into the patter of drops. But I was there, not in the flesh, not as the shopkeeper or a shadow she could name, but in the spaces between, where light bends and secrets breathe. I saw her take that first step, the moment the thread of her fate snagged on something older than she could guess. I watch always, and sometimes I let the shadows carry a message. Clara's apartment is a small island of order in a sea of grey city noise. Picture it, white walls scuffed by time, a grey sofa sagging in the middle, a wooden table scratched from years of use. Rain drums the window pane, streaking the glass, with silver trails, and the room hums with the faint buzz of a radiator. She sets the painting on the table, its frame catching the cold glow of a bare bulb overhead. Curiosity nudges her. She grabs a sponge, dips it in a bowl of water, and starts wiping away decades of grime. The sound is soft, rhythmic, water dripping into the bowl like a clock ticking too slow. The woman's face emerges clearer, those eyes unblinking, following every stroke. Then Clara flips it over. On the back, scratched in faded charcoal, a date, March 17th, 2025. 3 weeks away. Her breath catches, a jolt she can't explain. It's just a number, a scribble, but it sticks to her like damp cloth, heavy and cold. That night, sleep comes uneasy. Imagine her bedroom, a narrow bed with rumpled sheets, a nightstand cluttered with a half-read book and a cracked mug. The rain outside is a lullaby turned restless, tapping the window like it wants in. She dreams, fractured, jagged images. A room swallowed by fire, papers curling into ash, the acrid sting of smoke clawing her throat. Phones scream in unison, a relentless chorus, and a clock looms on the wall, its hands snapping to 17th and March before spinning wild. She wakes gasping, sweat beading on her forehead, the room so still it feels like a held breath. Just a dream, she mutters, stumbling to the kitchen. The coffee brews, steam curling up, but it cools untouched as she stares at the painting now propped against the wall, its gaze steady, knowing. Days blur, but the world begins to nudge. Picture the metro, a crush of bodies, the air thick with sweat and static, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Clara clutches her bag, jostled by the crowd, when a man bumps her hard. His newspaper flops to the grimy floor, and as she bends to pick it up, the headline glares. Financial markets on edge. March instability looms. Her pulse quickens. The man snatches it back, his eyes sunken, shadowed, lingering on her. Too long before he vanishes into the swarm. She shakes it off, boards her train, but the date, March 17th, echoes louder now, a whisper turning to a hum. Back home, she tries to bury it. She cooks dinner. Imagine the sizzle of oil in a pan, the sharp scent of garlic. But her eyes keep drifting to the painting. Later, she's at the table, laptop open, researching the startup she's set to invest in. It's risky, high stakes, the kind of move that could make or break her. The numbers glow on the screen, promising, but that hum won't fade. She types March 17th, 2025 into a search bar, half joking. Nothing recent, just old articles, stock, crashes from decades past. She laughs, a brittle sound, but it's cut short when the radiator clanks, a sudden jolt that makes her jump. The painting watches, silent. Time drags, and the painting becomes a fixture. Imagine Clara's routine. Mornings with coffee gone cold, evenings with papers strewn across the table, the startup proposal glaring up at her. The painting sits nearby, its frame catching the light in odd ways, the woman's eyes glinting like they're wet. The clock on the wall ticks louder when she's close to it. Tick, 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 a rhythm that burrows into her skull. She catches herself glancing at shadows, fleeting shapes in the corner of her eye. But when she turns, there's nothing, just the rain-smeared window and the city's hum beyond. One night she digs deeper. Picture her on the sofa, legs tucked. Under, the room dark save for the laptop's blue glow painting her face. She searches March 17th again, scrolling past trivia to an obscure post. A financial collapse in 1995, same date, a market implosion that left investors ruined. Her throat tightens. History repeating, she whispers half to herself. Then it happens. The radio, an old thing on the shelf, untouched for months, crackles to life. A hiss, a garbled voice too faint to catch, then silence. She freezes, heart hammering, the laptop slipping to the cushion. The bulb overhead flickers once, twice, and the painting's eyes seem to sharpen in the stutter of light. The next day, the world presses closer. Imagine her at work, a glass-walled office, phones ringing, screens flashing numbers. A colleague, Paolo, leans over her desk, his tie loose, voice low. Heard whispers about that startup, shaky ground. You signing? Soon? She nods, distracted, but his words snag. Later in the break room, she overhears two analysts. March could be brutal this year. The date again. Her coffee trembles in her hand, a drop spilling on the tile. Back home, she paces, the painting a silent sentinel. She grabs a notebook, scribbles dates, connections, 1995, 2025, the startup. The pieces don't fit, but they weigh on her, a puzzle she can't drop. Another night, another dream. This time it's sharper. She's in the metro, but it's empty, lights flickering. The floor wet with something dark. The painting hangs on the wall ahead, larger, the woman's lips moving, mouthing March 17. Clara jolts awake, the room cold, her breath fogging faintly. She stumbles to the painting, runs her fingers over the back. Still just that date. No, more clues. But the air feels thick now, like someone's watching. She's past ignoring it. You know that feeling, don't you? When a shadow lingers too long and you wonder if it's yours. March 16th arrives, a day heavy with unspoken stakes. Picture the office at night. A sterile glow from overhead lights, glass walls mirroring the city's restless pulse. Clara sits alone, the startup contract spread before her, pen poised. The deadline's midnight. Her laptop hums, graphs steady for now. The painting's at home, but its eyes burn in her mind. That date a drumbeat she can't shake. The clock reads 11:30. She flips through emails, colleagues cautious, a hedge fund pulling back. Doubt gnaws her. Then the phone shrieks. It's Paolo, voice tight. Clara, get out of that deal. Rumors, fraud, cooked books. It's collapsing. She stares at the screen. Nothing yet. 11:40. She dials her broker, gets voicemail. The TV in the corner muted, flickers to life. Breaking news, vague hints of market tremors. Her chest tightens. 11:45. The graphs twitch, a red line dipping. She grabs the contract, fingers trembling, then pauses. That date, March 17th. The painting's warning. 11:50. A crash outside, someone's car alarm blaring. She rips the contract, the sound sharp, final, paper fluttering to the floor like dead leaves. Silence, then chaos. 11:55. The screen erupts, red lines plunging. A domino fall. The TV blares. Startup implodes. Investors wiped out. Midnight strikes. March 17th. She sinks into her chair, breath ragged, relief flooding her veins like ice water. But the news shifts. Cameras catch the CEO fleeing, a painting under his arm. Small, oil on canvas, that same piercing gaze. Clara's stomach lurches, the same painting, another copy. Her mind spins. Was it warning her, or him, or both? Back home, she replays it. Picture her pacing, the torn contracts echo in her ears, the painting on the wall serene, almost smug. She grabs a flashlight, inspects it. No new marks, just that date. But the coincidence gnaws. She calls Paolo. Did you see that painting on the news? He laughs uneasy. You're seeing ghosts, Clara. She hangs up, stares at the woman's eyes. They don't blink. Dawn breaks, grey and quiet. Imagine Clara's apartment, the sofa a lifeline, her body slumped, eyes red from sleeplessness. The painting hangs steady, its frame catching the first light, the woman's gaze softer now, like a storm past. Rain taps the window, a fading rhythm, washing the night away. Clara rises, makes tea. Imagine the steam curling, the clink of the mug on the table. She sits, stares at the painting, her mind a tangle of what-ifs. She's safe, her savings intact, her career spared, but safe from what? That date, that dream, that gaze. What chose her? She cleans the kitchen, moves slow, the weight lifting but not gone. Picture her pausing, tracing the frame with a finger, half expecting it to whisper. It doesn't. Later, she Googles again. Old art forums mention a painter lost to history whose works carried omens. Nonsense, she thinks, but the word sticks. She calls her mother, voice steady but thin. Ever feel like something's watching out for you? A laugh, then silence on the line. She hangs up, sits again, the tea cold now. The painting watches back, a mirror to her doubt. I saw it all unfold. The shop, the dream, the tear of paper, this quiet aftermath. I don't step in, don't guide the hand. I watch. And sometimes I let the past reach through, a thread pulled taut across years. Clara felt it, didn't she? The shadow that knows more than it tells. But who drew that thread? Picture the painting now, alone in her dim room, the woman's eyes glinting as morning fades to dusk. The frame tilts just a hair, the canvas holding secrets it won't spill. Who scratched that date? What else has that gaze seen in homes long gone, lives long ended? Clara's safe for now, but the shadow moves on. Maybe it'll find you next, in the flicker of a light, the turn of a page. This is Tales of the Watcher, where shadows tell what eyes can't see.